Photography is one of the oldest standing forms of artistic expression that there is out there. Photography, since its invention in 1822, has been a way to express the beauty that can come from a moment that is captured in time, preserved either on film or digitally. Without photography, we wouldn't have a lot of the modern media situations that we take for granted to this day. We wouldn't have TV, we wouldn't have animations, and you wouldn't have this video. This video is only possible because a bunch of little pictures are being taken every single second, frames per second. While photography has always been used as a way to tell a story in a much more subtle context than film or animation, it does have something that it can excel at. It catches the unexpected, sometimes even the downright horrific. Today we're going to dive into photography and its potential as a medium to convey horror. Before that, welcome back to Beholder Media. It's so good to see you. I'm sorry for the long absence. I hit a bunch of different creative burnouts, as well as I just needed to put a lot of energy into surviving. I have been very, very tired, and since like October, I've been meaning to get a video out. So here we are, right before the new year, right either before or after Christmas, depending on how quick I can edit this video. We will see. Maybe I can get it out the same night. Who knows? But thank you for coming back. Thank you for clicking on this if you're new. And hey, I hope you enjoy it. Feel free to watch the video as there are graphics that are going to pop up, or you can just use me as a podcast. I've seen people comment that they do that. And hopefully I got the audio situation I've had a problem with sorted. Something about the compression rate just messes with my audio, but I got headphones on. I'm able to monitor it more closely, and as you can see in the background, you can see my audio, so that's going to help me keep an eye on things. Okay? Cool. Let's dive right into it, okay? So first off, I want to talk about Joshua, and I'm probably going to say this wrong, Hoffing. Hoffing is a pioneer of the genre, quite frankly. His work embodies a childlike sense of fear, a grimdark fairy tale, if you will. After Dark, My Sweet was his first series, running from 2003 to 2009. It involved his 5 daughters, and that, kids, is the real horror. Make sure you wear protection. These pieces, though, truly show off Joshua's just beautiful style. However, they are dark, odd, and disgusting in a very great way. As you can imagine, my favorite piece is titled Innsmouth, however, which uses also one of my favorite actors, Doug Jones. If you're an avid creature feature fan like I am, you recognize Doug Jones from all these movies. I'm not going to read them out, okay? Okay, cool. Something really important about Joshua's work is the fact that it's all practical. It's not AI, it's not this or that. It is all handcrafted. You can find a lot of behind the scenes work that he has, photos either taken by himself or other people showing the process. The Innsmouth one is, again, one of my favorites, only because it shows how much they put into it. They made different face casts for different actors who acted as the deep ones, and it was just overall a really, really cool thing to see, especially seeing it come to life. Please, someone hire this man as a director of photography on some kind of Lovecraftian film. That would be really cool. Anyway, there are some pieces that Joshua has that really do capture just a very specific tone he goes for. He goes for the grim fairy tale of sorts. As I said before, he has a set of work that involves his 5 daughters, and each one is just so hauntingly captivating. It reminds you a little bit of Skinamarink, the concept of a child put through a very horrific event, and you can't help but feel bad for that kid, but you also kind of want to see what happens next. Is it going to be a happy ending? Do the monsters just look scarier than they are? Who knows? Only Joshua can tell us, and Joshua's not going to. Next, we're going to dive into someone a little more mainstream, if you will. We're going to talk about Trevor Henderson. Now, I'm sure you know who Trevor Henderson is, but I'm going to give you the brief overview, just like I did for Joshua, just to, keep the respect there. So, Trevor Henderson is a Canadian illustrator. His work mostly captures this kind of found footage style of things. Trevor, much like Hoffine, makes his own monsters. However, Trevor paints his monsters, and he also paints the environments usually. It seems like he does take reference, backgrounds, and such, but usually he is hand painting the scene to make it all blend. Trevor's work, just like Hoffine's, really shows off the style he has. It seems like Henderson has a very specific taste in monsters. You don't really see claws on his creatures. You don't see sharp teeth. You feel unsettled by them. They're, in a lot of cases, very human, but in many more cases, much more demented and changed. He's able to take some photo of this room that's empty and turn it into a whole new entity, the smile room, just by painting in the teeth and the detail. It's so captivating. Henderson's monster designs are just so beautiful and evocative of just this specific feeling of time. I feel like it's when monsters were really beginning to innovate a bit. It could be debated on what time period that was, but I feel like after the 1950s, we started to lean away from Dracula, Frankenstein, and into more unique creations. Henderson's creatures definitely fit that for the 2010s to 2020s, depending on which piece you're looking at. Henderson also has the benefit of having a very popular line of work. I'm sure you know what Siren Head is. Siren Head is a bit of a hot button topic as of late, I think. I think the thing about that is that Siren Head exploded very quickly in the same way that Slender Man kind of did. And unfortunately, in the age of Siren Head versus Slender Man, a lot of the people who were online at the time tended to be younger kids, meaning that content farms could get their hands on him and change him. But the reason I'm diving so deep into Siren Head right now is the fact that this is another way Trevor's work and Joshua's work kind of differ. Joshua doesn't really give you a lot of descriptions for his photos. It's just usually a title and a very, brief blurb about the series. Trevor gives you a lot of detail per photo. It is beautiful. It's immaculate even. Trevor's work is a sprawling universe of sorts. It's something that honestly, he could write so many books about, and he has. He's dipped into writing. He does have a book, and I believe he has a second on the way. And there's also a podcast dedicated to the lore of his creatures. It's so interesting because it's audio fiction mixed with Trevor's own bestiary of sorts. The most in-depth lore that comes from is some of these creatures like Siren Head, Cartoon Cat, Long Horse, Siren Head being the antithesis creature in a way. Siren Head is often referred to as a creature from the void, this creature in lore that came from a benevolent place where other creatures come from. The universe is connected. Siren Head knows about these other creatures like Long Horse, which Long Horse is the best boy in my opinion. Long Horse is one of my favorite pieces by Henderson. I love Long Horse, and quite frankly, I thought about one year for Halloween having Long Horse be my costume, just finding a way to make a puppet that's really long and using my arm. We don't tolerate Long Horse slander on this channel, okay? Now, all of this is just to say that Trevor is truly, truly a visionary in his field. He's a brilliant master of horror. Everything he makes is unsettling, weird, or honestly, he makes some pretty funny things. I love Little Nugget. Little Nugget's he's just a guy. He's just a little guy. You can't be scared of him. You can't be angry at him. He's just a little dude. But there is another creator that is very, very similar to Trevor in what they do. Eduardo Valdez Hevia. I hope I said that right. Eduardo is a combination of the two prior artists, as he actually has work that feels like a grimdark fairy tale, but also long-form lore projects such as his Bestiary, The Day Where Nothing Happened, and one of the more popular, the Megalomorphs. When I say that Eduardo really embodies fairy tales, I mean he genuinely does. His work outside of his series that follow a theme that feel truly like a fairy tale. I mean, just go look at his page. I gotta reiterate myself there. There's just something so captivating about his work too. It's drawing you in, even when it kind of disgusts me, if I'm being honest here. His work draws the line of more hidden found footage horror of Trevor and the intense upfront horror of Joshua. Something about Eduardo that helps is his time in the medical field. If I remember right from a few of his streams, he's actually talked about being in the medical field, and it kind of shows with his collection of medical horror, which it is so grotesque and well-informed and well-written. It makes me queasy to a point. I can't look at some of these, and I'm gonna hate having to edit these in, but I just love talking about this piece right here. Another thing that I really like from Eduardo is the cryptid series he does, where he kind of reimagines cryptids based on eyewitness accounts and keep them more accurate. For instance, his Loch Ness Monster, which is from a early account of the Loch Ness Monster, where it was more described as like a camel horse hybrid thing with a long neck. It wasn't an aquatic plesiosaur in any way. It was something that was quadrupedal and walked on four legs. It was above land, basically. And there's just something so cool about seeing a very talented artist take their swing at depicting this creature, because any other depiction is very poorly done, either by cops who took the story or the people who claimed the story were real. So Eduardo is just a master of the unsettling and uncanny, taking a very weird fiction approach to his things, such as the Fractal series. That is so weird, and it just feels like something from a Robert W. Chambers book before he started just doing romance novels. It feels like something you would see in Carcosa, and I love it for that. That's a weird freaking fish, dude. That thing's awesome. So this video is more about me just trying to bring to light the idea that photography can be used as a medium to explore horror. Now, that's not to say that, yes, technically Eduardo and Trevor aren't, photographers in a traditional sense. Yes, I'm not really saying they are. I'm just saying that their work is very evocative of photography. And something to also bring up is that a lot of analog horror kind of follows the photography horror formula. A lot of slideshows with weird images and typically some pretty good visuals that look like actual photos, and then you have the bad ones. But that's just to say that I think photography overall is a beautiful medium to really convey horror in its own right. It's something that just lingers on you, because it's not the full motion video of film. It's not the graphics of a video game. No, it's a still moment that was caught of something just absolutely terrifying that you just have to sit with as you look at it. That's why creepypastas like Smile Dog really get me, where it's like a photography or like a photo creepypasta, but like the photo's really good in a way. Now, I mean, looking back on it, it's, yeah, that just looks like your average pug. But that's not to say that, hey, it's still a good piece of work, because it takes the idea of photography and imaging and makes it into something really weird and messed up, and I love it for that. So, hey, maybe this video will inspire some people. Even if you just have a passing interest in photography, I implore you, try it out. Take a weird photo. Maybe the hallway in your house is really dark, but like if you turn on a light in a room, it's like just barely visible enough to like kind of see, but the darkness creeps in. Ooh, that could be a really good shot. I used to live in a place like that. It's just, man. And a little interesting factoid about me. Hey, I'm a photographer. That is my day job. That's how I make my money. That is my 9 to 5. So I have a lot to say about this topic, but I'm not going to, because I want to keep this video a little shorter because I got to edit it. I want to get it out to you guys. And that's all I got to say. There's no grand thesis or anything like that. Photography is just a medium of horror that I hope that more people explore, if I'm being honest with you. So, till next time, this has been Beholder Media. So good to see you. Happy holidays. And I'll catch you next time, okay? Bye.